Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Perfect Pixel Podcast. Once again, hosted by myself, Heapings, as well I have, once again, Frosty. Today, we're going to go through Frosty's list of his top 10 investments for 2021.
So, starting off at number 10, I have the Desert Eagle Cobalt Disruption. And this is going to be a classified skin out of the eSports 2013 winter case.
So the Desert Eagle Cobalt Disruption, I personally have one of them. It's in minimal wear. I find that it is kind of the sought after Desert Eagle skin. I fully agree. I don't know that it's... I don't have enough research behind it to tell me what does your research say that it should do, or what has it done in the recent years?
I think for this skin, it has kind of stayed pretty much stable. It's definitely rose over the years, but I think there's definitely more room for it to go up in the future, as I would say it's one of my favorite Desert Eagle skins. It's blue, it has like this metallic finish. And also, it works really well for trade-ups, as there's only one skin above it in the case.
And is it itself a single item trade up?
There are three along with it as classified skins. There's the Electric Hive as well as the After Image.
Okay, so it's a very rare skin that has been discontinued. It's part of a discontinued drop. That is an old skin that's nice and rare. It hasn't. You're saying, I think that it could be a dark horse, that it hasn't gone up in recent years, but this year is a good chance for it to really make a good pop.
Yeah, definitely. I have one in Factory New, I believe. Yeah, I think I have one minimal wear as well, and they're definitely gonna do well.
Does it come in factory new?
It does.
All right, so and for investor grade, definitely pick it up in factory new if possible. If not, minimal wear is the next best option.
Yeah, and they're pretty low quantity as well, so definitely gonna see them being even more rare, because I've definitely seen people using these for trade ups as filler. For number 9 on our list, we have the M4A4 Dragon King. And this is a classified skin again, but it's from the Chroma case, which is also a rare drop.
This is the Chroma Case 1 that you're speaking of, let's be clear. And the M4A for Dragon King, I actually have a rare patterned one of this. It is a minimal wear 0.07 with all zeros afterwards. So it's actually a perfect 7 skin. And it's pattern 777. So it's actually a very rare occurrence of this one. I do believe in this being a very valued skin, that it will continue to rise. It's at a good price. You can pick them up in factory new under about $15 still. Is that the case?
I think Factory New's gone all the way up to almost $30 now.
So that's pretty good. I mean, I picked up my minimal wear, which is basically a perfect factory new, but it's also a rare pattern for about $40. So the fact that factory news are up to 30, that's even better. I still see there being lots of headroom for this to continue to grow well into being a simple $40 to $50 M4A4 skin.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely going to be a great pickup, especially if you want to have it as a play skin. And looking at like the older rare M4s, there definitely aren't a lot left at this price point, so that's why I have this one on the list.
Yeah, the Chroma case has always been kind of the one that kind of has held back because the Chroma case has been cheap. But in the last 6 to 7 months, the Chroma case has really started to rise in price. So if that trend continues, I would see that this M4A4 Dragon King would continue with that price rise.
Moving on to number 8 on my list, I have the M4A1S Leaded Glass. And again, a classified skin, this time out of the Spectrum 2 case. While the Spectrum 2 case is still in the non-prime drop, I think it's going to probably move to rare drop soon as well, but also it's a fairly old case.
So the Spectrum 2 is not super old yet, but judging by what the Spectrum 1 case has done, I would say that this is a safe bet. This may not be a perfect fit for 2021. I think it might spill into a 2022 investment as well, for the M4A1S leaded glass, simply because it may stay in non-prime until about May or June when we see the follow-up of a couple more cases. So it's not going to go crazy yet, but this is the time to get in. This is getting in before the rise. This is buying Bitcoin in 2015.
Yeah, so I think right now it's fairly close to its all-time low. I think maybe a couple, maybe if you picked it up a year ago, it might have been like at its absolute low, but right now it's still a great time to buy it. And as we know, in the Spectrum 2 case, above it we have the AK Empress, which is probably one of the like most community liked AK skins. So I would definitely say not only is I see it as a main rifle, if even though it's not like everyone's favorite rifle as it has a silencer, but it's still a rifle skin. It looks decent and also trades up to the Empress, so that's why I picked it.
Yeah, and once again, like, not all the skins that are $150 go and double themselves in price every year. It's usually the skins that are $5 in price or $4 or $3 that double in price, and people are like, whoa, how did this all of a sudden become a $25 skin? It's because it goes unnoticed by a lot of people. And exactly that for a leaded glass. It's one of those underlying skins that people don't realize is going to start doubling and tripling each year, and that's going to be one of the ones that goes up.
Moving on to number 7 on the list, I have the AUG Aristocrat. This is a restricted skin out of the Gamma 1 collection, and this is going to be a rare drop case.
Yeah, the AUG Aristocrat is actually one of the AUGs that I used to use as a primary AUG, as part of my loadout. It was a kind of off the beat skin, but it was something that not a lot of people used and not a lot of people even knew about. I think it is I don't understand it being in this list simply because not a lot of people use it and know about it. But this is your list and not mine. That's why I didn't make my list, and it has made yours. I'd be interested to see what the graph looks like of the last couple of years of how it's been rising over time. It being in the gamma case, of course, probably helps it. What does it trade up to in the next level?
So in the next level in the gamma case, it trades up to Desolate Space being like the main item you want to get out of that trade up, and then we have the Scar 20 Bloodsport and the P2000 Imperial Dragon.
Okay, so if the P2000 starts to make a revival, that Imperial Dragon is definitely a valuable P2000. I just I don't see it as being a strong pickup. I just haven't done the research on it. You clearly have, so clearly I trust your judgment that it's a good pickup right now. That's a good pickup for 2021.
Yeah, so I think recently it's dipped quite hard in price. It was one of the skins that got hit quite hard. So if you're able to pick this up on a buy order at like $1.50, that would actually be really good, as I see it easily rebounding back to its $2.50 mark. So that's already doing extremely well. Additionally, it's going to be the cheapest restricted out of the Gamma 1 case. So that makes it good for trade ups as well. And also, we see the revival of the AUG meta as people are starting to realize how the AUG is kind of OP, almost like the SG was before they nerfed it. So I see that as one of the factors bringing this skin up in value as well.
Yeah, so looking at those types of things, knowing now that it's the cheapest one, that's a really cheap price to get something. So if you buy something at $1.50, if it goes to $2.50, you're 60% up on your money. If you have only a small account and you're looking to grow it quickly, that's a good way in purchasing a skin of a way to grow your account.
Yeah, so see right now on buy orders, it's dipping down to like $1.60, even $1.50, a couple times to $1.15. So maybe just place buy order on this at like $1.60, wait on it for a couple weeks, and just hold on to it because I really like this skin as well.
Yeah, with all of these skins, you have to understand that we're talking about a 6 month time period as a minimum when you're talking about investing in it. So when you're buying something on buy order, it's easier to get it on buy order and make the extra 15 cents because 15 cents on a or 20 cents of difference between the sell and the buy is a good amount of money when it comes down to when you're selling it. That can almost even pay your fees sometimes when selling it for profit. So you got to think about what you're looking at and how long you're going to hold on to a skin before you decide what you want to do with it and whether or not you're going to buy it.
Yeah. Moving on to number 6 on my list, I have the Mac 10 Copper Borre. This is going to be a Mil-Spec skin out of the Norse collection. I think this was also featured on Heaping's list.
I have to go find out what number it was on my list. Yep, absolutely. It made number 6 on your list. It made number 6 on my list. It's a solid pickup just for the place that it holds. Being an older operation skin from the Norse, we're not seeing a return in this current operation of that Norse collection. Therefore, theoretically, it's gone, and these are going to start to get used up over time. They may not get used up right away, but coming into this next summer, as the economy starts to recover, I think that a lot of these Mac 10 Copper Borres will get eaten up. Some will be for trade ups, some will be because people like the skin, some will be for collectors. There's just not a lot of them left that are still around. I think it's a solid pickup. But it does live at number 6.
Yeah, so we've already seen pretty like big gains out of this one. As just in December last year, it was only at $16. But with only 37 on the Steam market as of right now, you pick one up at a buy order price and hold it for like half a year, maybe more than a year. I think it's definitely gonna have some pretty big gains, especially with how high the Gungnir still is, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
It's just all down to how low the supply is.
with all those skins that stay way up high, above market price, as long as all those skins are staying up there, and people continue to want to build more Gungnir's, there's going to be plenty more of those that get eaten up a lot quicker.
Moving on to number 5 on my list, I have the AK-47 Baroque Purple. And this is going to be an industrial skin out of the Canals collection, which is also part of Operation Broken Fang.
Do you want me to edit it, or do you want to be wrong about that?
What do you mean?
Operation
You don't like
Shattered Web.
Oh, I said Broken Fang.
Yes, you did. Operation Shattered Web. Once again, yeah, one of the industrials that looks very clean, very basic on the AK-47. It is something that is really good as a base for sticker crafts. I have a lot of them personally. Once again, I am the type of investor that is happy to go for cheaper things, but go for a lot of them. I have over 150 in minimal wear and over 250 in field tested, just so you have an idea of the kind of size and scale that I've got an investment in these. To me, they are a longer term hold, since they are kind of the base, almost the new Safari mesh, as a base skin in this, that they'll hold and grow their value because they are much rarer. But being in this list, they're definitely going to be a growth thing. I just don't see, me personally, I don't see them as being a 2021 investment because I've had them for an entire year already. I see them as being kind of a 3-year investment extending out into 2022. Where do you see it being?
Yeah, I definitely feel this is going to be slightly longer term as it's a lower grade skin, but again, it's very clean. And something interesting is that factory news at like $10, where Minimal wear is at 4, and field test is at 2. So factory new is quite a lot higher, which is something you kind of want to keep in mind. So I would definitely say we probably expect at least like 50% increase this year, as they really haven't risen too much from where they've always been at. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, so I've seen them as being something that they are definitely, once again, a kind of a dark horse sort of skin. They're not expensive. They're not crazy. The factory news are $10. They're a float capped item, so they are going to be a little bit more rare and a little more expensive. But you can't tell the difference
Because
between a fact.
they're
They're
not.
not. I think they are. Are
Oh,
they not?
it's just crazy. I don't know why. They're just twice as expensive.
Okay. I always assumed it was a float capped item, like it was float capped at 0.05 or something. Okay. People are crazy. People are stupid. Don't buy it in factory new if you're going to invest in it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't.
but
There's no wear until you like. You can't see wear on the skin, and really until you get to well worn.
yeah, that's why minimal wear and field tests are definitely gonna be ones to pick up. Because if factory new is selling for $10, those definitely have the headroom to like go up.
Man, people are crazy. So crazy. Why the heck are you buying
Yeah, I
a factory new of the Baroque purple or Baroque? Do you call it Baroque or Baroque?
think it's Baroque.
I call it Baroque. There must be like a little bit of French Canadian I have in me. Um,
Yeah.
all right, it's an interesting one. Yeah,
Moving on to number 4 on my list, I have the M4A1S Moss Quartz. Now, Heapings featured the Max 7 chainmail, which is also industrial Norse, but I chose the M4A1S Moss Quartz as I think this might do a little better just because it can also be used as a play skin. Also, it's one of the few green M4A1S we have in the game.
yeah. So the M4A1S Moss Quartz, I actually have a battle scarred high float of this. I believe it's number 4 or number 5 in terms of the worst battle scarred. Just because it's kind of got it actually gets rid of the dark green pattern and actually turns almost into a light green. It's really scratched. It's weird, but it turns into a kind of a neat green colored pattern when it's severely battle scarred. I like the skin. I don't like, to me, why I chose a different one in that collection was there are so many other M4A1S skins that are good. The only thing going for it is that it's rare, and it's not that rare because it's an industrial. I just don't know how much growth that operation will have. I believe in things like the Mac 10 Copper Borre. It's a little bit further up in that operation in terms of what it's being traded up to. I just don't know that the industrial necessarily will do as well, from my opinion.
Well, I kind of chose it going similar reasoning as why you chose the Mag 7, as it's definitely going to be used for trade ups. Not everyone's going to want this as a play skin. Probably very few people want it, but I think it has a little bit more going for it.
See, so why I picked the chainmail was also like it is great for as a trade up potential, but it also it probably makes my top 10 list of Mag 10 or Mag 7 skins, simply because it's a good looking Mag 7. Whereas the M4A1S Moss Quartz, I don't even know if it makes a top 25 of M4A1S skins. I don't even know that there are 25 M4A1S skins. Now that I think about it. So it's just it's not a the Baroque purple is the industrial. It's a very good base for sticker crafts. The Moss Quartz I don't feel has that, and it being an M4A1, less people are using it currently than the Dragon King. Now, if you gave that's a totally separate story, but I'm just gonna if they made the M4A1S a little bit better and it made it closer to the M4A4. It gave it like 25 bullets and being slightly cheaper with the same fire rate. I think that there would be a move for the M4A with Moss Quartz because people will start to use it more simply because there's a lot more required for that supply and that it'll see a nice quick little bump. Now, don't put Valve out of that. It may happen.
I think people are definitely shifting towards the silenced M4s because I mean before they made it 2900, pretty much everyone was on the M4, right? No one used the silencer. After they made it cheaper, like people started picking it up. It has like much better first bullet accuracy. You can like tap with it, and also the silencer, like it's actually like kind of crazy how much harder it is for like people to notice where you're shooting from. Like I watched pro matches where they're just tapping away at them from the back and pros just can't react at all. Where a lot of the times if that was a normal M4, they would pivot right away. That shift is, I think it's coming already. Moving on to number 3 on my list, we have the Galil-AR Stone Cold. This is going to be a restricted skin out of the Shadow Collection, and this is also a rare drop.
The Galil-AR Stone Cold is a good pick for me. I personally have that as a play skin. I would not refer to it as a Stone Cold. I know it as the Nightwing. The Nightwing is what it was originally released to the Steam Community Shop with. And if you look at the Stone Cold very closely, it's got a lot of kind of wings and like kind of crests and stuff on it with wings. That's something that was brought in with the whole Nightwing concept. It looks very good from the Shadow Collection. Have absolutely no issues with it making number 3 on this list.
As said, it's definitely one of the best looking little skins out there, and also being in the Shadow case, that definitely gives it room to go up even further.
You didn't know it was called the Nightwing, did you?
Nope. Didn't even know it had wing patterns on it.
Do you know? Have you never looked at it?
I just see it as like it's got like a blue outline.
So look on the stock, right? At the back of the stock.
Yeah.
It's got like the angel's wings, right? It's got the angel's wings, but also the blue kind of stuff, the blue from the top is also supposed to be like the wings of a bird flying. There's a whole breakdown of it.
I see it now.
You see how it's called? It would be like you see how it would be the Nightwing now.
There's like a little beak.
Yeah, it is the Nightwing.
Oh.
You now can't unsee it once you've seen it.
All right, for number 2 on this list, I have the AK Frontside Misty, and this is going to be a classified skin out of the Shadow case, which is, as we said before, a rare drop, and this definitely makes this list as I feel it's kind of a slept-on AK skin, and I mean it definitely looks pretty good, and I think it's just a lot lower valued compared to similar AK skins out there.
Yeah, Frontside Misty is always the skin that, once again, people underestimate that it's not going to be worth anything. It's kind of got that blue, white, and black sort of look. It's clean, it's crisp, it's done very well in the past. It's a recognizable skin by almost everybody in the game. It's something that it is starting to go up in value, so if you can get one now for a good price, it's going to be worth probably double in a year's time.
Totally agree with that. And something I just wanted to bring up is that a lot of investments, unless it's like an operation thing, a lot of the time, unless you're buying into hype, usually like the items everyone's excited about, everyone's talking about, they're not actually going to be the greatest investments. More want to look at things that low priced or undervalued. And with that being said, that brings us to the number 1 pick, which is the same thing that Heapings had, the Op Fever Dream. And this is going to be a classified skin out of the Spectrum 1 case.
Yeah, I have to say the fact that it made your list as well at number 1 just proves the real strength of it. That we built our lists entirely separate from each other. The Op Fever Dream is honestly one of the top skins for this year. Trying to get it in factory new or minimal wear is, of course, best. You can still pick up cheap factory news in decent floats. Things like Buff or your preferred third-party site, as well as on the CSGO market. They can still be had if you look closely. You can also pick stuff up on Bioder and just hope that you get lucky with a good float. These are good skins. I like them. You seem to like them as well. Good in my opinion.
Yeah, so this is definitely like one of my favorite like kind of budget op skins. There's definitely the Theris for me, but this is also like it just looks so cool. It has like kind of like sugar, like the Galil sugar rush or whatever, like that like pink neon vibe going on. And like it's one of the things that really like proves that this is gonna go up so much more is that we're seeing the price go up now on the Steam market, but the third party marketplaces are still kind of like lagging. It's still undervalued. So if you're able to pick it up, it's definitely gonna have that room to keep going.
All right, everybody, that is Frosty's list of his top 10 investments for 2021. I disagreed with some, I agreed with most. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you next week.